everybody to another How You Get Started. And today it's going to be on Necromunda Hired Gun. And yes, this is another Warhammer game. Now, Necromunda Hired Gun is not your traditional Warhammer game. It's a single player game, so it should be easier for me to explain how you can get started and how you can easily make your way through the game, because this game still and foremost is a Doom Eternal slash roguelite, how do I say it, gear simulator. This is a gear game. You're basically going through many main missions and side missions, earning money, earning XP to not only level up yourself, level up your Mastiff, and you're going out there to get better and better gear of different weapons from the Warhammer universe. Now, how you'll get started in this game is after you create a character and you go through a prologue mission, you will always return to the hub world known as Martyr's End. Martyr's End is where you will find everything you need. Weapons venue, bionic venue, a gladiatorium training arena, changing your costume, going to select different missions and talking to different NPCs, and also finding little knickknacks and secrets here in the hub world level. Now, you're going to be predominantly spending most of your time doing the side missions as opposed to the main missions. Now, since this is not a review, I won't be going over the story, I won't be going over the main campaign. What I'm going to guide you and instruct you on is how to go about the faction missions. Now, these are your side missions, and these missions really have no end. They are limitless. Think of playing Inquisitor Martyr, Warhammer 40k Inquisitor Martyr, which the open galaxy, for example, there is infinite amount of side missions to do. That is the same concept that you're getting here in Necromunda Hired Gun versus Inquisitor Martyr, which is a Diablo style game. This is more in the vein of playing a game like Doom Eternal. Now, it's not as refined as Doom Eternal, but the controls here and the gunplay is very fun, albeit sometimes a little janky. Now, what you're going to want to do is play the lower tier levels, the A missions. A missions, B missions, S missions, they're all graded based on difficulty, based on what the objective is, and based upon whether you will be able to complete it or not, whether in a given time or if you're strong enough. But I recommend for any new player, get a specific set of weapons that you know you're going to want to use. Apply your XP points to specific parts of the skill tree that you want to be good with, whether that be guns blazing, melee combat, strengthening your dog, an overall build. It allows you to craft yourself the way you want to go till you'll eventually unlock everything on the tree. Now, first, go to the gladiatorium. The gladiatorium gives you a chance to understand the controls, to understand the gunplay, and to understand at least the enemies you're going to be dealing with in the world. Now, the one benefit of this game is on the lower level missions or the lower difficulties, the AI can pretty much be conquered by your Mastiff. But illusions are what this game is, especially the difficulty is an illusion. As your gear gets better and as you get into the higher tier missions, especially the higher tier faction missions, the game will begin to fight you back, and you will be facing more enemies and different enemy types in difficulty. Now, that's where you need to master the different bionics of your character, from your grappling hook to automatic aim to super strength, slowing down time, seeing through walls, etc. Basically, you are a cyborg in this game, a Warhammer cyborg. And once you master the gunplay and take down the different enemies, you need to start off with missions that you can easily not waste life points on. And what do I mean by life points is, unless you kill enemies, there's not really no health packs. There is and there isn't. You get 3 health packs at the beginning of each level. 3. If you burn through those, the only way you can heal yourself is by executing enemies with the square button. Not shooting them, you can only regenerate your shield by shooting or picking power-ups up off the ground. But keeping yourself alive gets your reward and your payout higher. Because if you die a certain amount of times, or if you use your health rejuvenation kit 3 times excessively, you will get docked down and you won't gain the full amount of money, because at the end of the day, you are a bounty hunter in this game. You also need to allocate your currency into buying more weapons, putting more attachments to the guns, and the correct attachments can make the gun function even better and even more powerful. Now, I had to learn the hard way. I used to just put attachments that would look cool and think they were powerful, but then it would backfire on me by, let's say, I could have high accuracy and high damage, but then I could lose half my ammunition, or it'll change the gun from being a semi-auto to a full auto to just a single fire. So before doing your attachments, I recommend you read and pay attention to the descriptions of your weapons, to the descriptions of the attachments, and to the descriptions of the plus versus the negative effects. Once you do that, the best missions that I could say for you to do, there's a handful of missions. There's purging, there's rescuing, there's assassinations, there's control points, defense missions, etc. But the one type or 2 types of missions I recommend you do, which will not only level you up faster, not only get you more gear quicker because enemies come to you, but also more currency and better chance to master the gunplay of the game. And that is the first set of missions called Defense. Now, a lot of these side missions do take place in similar locations, but that doesn't matter. The locations, once you master these locations from the side missions, a lot of these side missions have levels that are ripped from the campaign. But you can master the environment by learning where to go, learning where to find different chests, learning where to find ammunition, and shield potions, or I call them potions, but you know, the shield jar thing that'll help increase your jar, excuse my mess up right there, your shield. Now, defense, in my personal opinion, the enemies will come to you, and it makes it easier because you're in either a square environment, a circle environment, or a 2-floor type of environment, where you'll also have AI bots, which they sometimes die, they sometimes don't, but the AI on your team at least does a good job at trying to fight the enemy back. Vice versa, the inconsistency of the enemy AI. But you can exploit that to better benefit yourself by being able to kill them. Now, certain mini-boss enemies have to be taken down very carefully because they could shred at your health and basically destroy you. I learned that the hard way. And there is different enemy types you also have to take into account when you're out there fighting in these different missions. Defense mission, you're not really dealing with anything crazy. You're basically dealing with normal humanoid heretics with guns. Now, there are Tyranids in the game. Yes, there are Genestealer Tyranids in the game. You will basically deal with those during Purge missions, or missions that require you to go into like deeper Hive-like levels in the underbellies of Hive City. And yes, this is another game that takes place in one of the many Imperial Hive cities. That's been a theme recently in my Warhammer videos, games that I've been playing. That's interesting. But yes, when you go into the Purge missions, you need to go in there with a very heavy weapon, because the Genestealers you're dealing with are not exactly small. These are some big ass boys that are going to be coming after you. They drill through the ground. They will sneak up on you, and you can get killed very quickly. These are one of the many missions that you need to be very, very careful when playing, because you can get jumped and shredded apart if you don't have the right kind of attachments or armor pieces or perks and abilities hooked to your character to make these missions easier. The personal perk that I use, or skill that I use to deal with the Purge missions, is Perfect Aim, which Perfect Aim kind of works like if you're using the Aliens Colonial Marines Smart Gun. It'll just lock onto any target and just boom, 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 pluck them down out of the sky. And Purge missions go on a little longer than they should. I mean, you can honestly beat a defense mission and farm those far quicker than a Purge mission. A Purge mission is just mainly for you to go in and test the strength of the weapons you have upgraded, such as your heavy bolters, las cannons, laser cannons, plasma cannons, different types of grenades. You know, the weapons in Warhammer are very unique depending on where you're playing. Like when you're playing as the Space Marines, you're dealing with bolters, and you don't play as a Space Marine in this game. Like I said, you're a bounty hunter. You're somebody that's not fighting for the Imperium, which is unique. A lot of the games that you play, you're either playing as a Space Marine of some kind or somebody for the Imperium. And this one is where you truly kind of feel like you're your own force of nature, dealing with the gangs and dealing with the criminal underbelly and the demented creatures of this world. Now, what I recommend you do, though, besides Purge, is the Seize and Control missions. Those are fairly easy. It's a combination of not only defense, it's like a tug-of-war type thing. You go in by yourself, or sometimes they send you in with a group of AI companions, and you just go through and take control of different checkpoints. Some of the missions or side missions are better than others. I'm just telling you the ones that I recommend you doing that will level you up quicker, get you gear quicker, get you more money, and also help you in progressing the game a lot faster. Because there's also rewards for taking on certain factions or for defeating certain factions. Yes, there's unlimited missions, so to speak, where you just keep refreshing and it's a new S tier mission, A tier mission, B tier mission, so on. But if you go all the way at the final window of those screens, you see the faction screen, and you'll see which factions are rising, which factions are falling, and which factions could be restarting back up. It's a nice little detail to give this game quite literally what few games have, let alone a single player game, because not a lot of single player games have what I'm about to say, which is infinite replayability. You would say that for certain online games or games that just are made to be that way. But with this game right here, Necromunda Hired Gun, it's one of the very few games that has that infinitely high replayability slash unlimited replayability factor. And that's what makes it one of my personal favorite games set within this universe of the 41st Millennia Warhammer 40k. And you're not playing as a Space Marine, like I said, you're playing as a bounty hunter, which is a very unique experience. So, there's that. Those are the best missions for you to try to level up, which is Purge, Control, and Defense. Now, I will probably review this game later. I went back and saw that I've never reviewed it. I've always tried to stream it, but then a lot of games just end up taking priority. But I hope that I've explained how you can get started in Necromunda Hired Gun. If you love Doom Eternal, if you like games where you just want to get the best weapons, get the best gear, and continuously test yourself and test your ability with an FPS shooter, then you know what? Necromunda Hired Gun will fix that urge for you. It'll fulfill that need. So, that's all I really got to say about that. Let me know what you guys think in the comments section if you're interested in playing this game, and if you're getting started with playing it anytime soon, or if you're a returning fan. So, be sure to like, subscribe, favorite, Zebra John Kill 3D Gaming, and I will see you all next time.